Well, good morning and happy Friday. I'm Addison, and we are here to look at cool, fun, exciting WordPress stuff, um, primarily focusing on GeneratePress, GenerateBlocks, and advanced custom fields in this series. So we've got. Oh, sorry, Siri thought I was talking to her. um, we have been working on this same website where I have lots of Star Wars and Ghostbusters stuff going on. We're looking at our Ghost Gear layout. And more specifically, I wanted to do a deep dive of how GenerateBlocks integrates with advanced custom fields. And we're even doing things like looking at the database and how data is stored by advanced custom fields and how we can retrieve it. We've even written a little short code that spits out an array of the values that are returned by a call to fetch the data from a advanced custom field. And we've done, and you can check out this playlist where we've done repeaters, O embeds. Last week we did relationships, and now we're going to look at selection fields like checkboxes and radio buttons and select drop downs and things like that. I'm not sure what we're going to specifically build, but there's some neat things you can do with it. If you look at our layout, we have the featured image, of course, the name of the post. We have this description, which is an advanced custom field, a WYSIWYG field. There's our featured image. Item quick description is used for the list view, kind of our excerpt. And down here's our repeater. Here's our O embed for YouTube, and then our relationship fields. And we're outputting them nicely. I don't know if I have everything on PKE meter. No, it doesn't have everything. So I'll go back to Ghost Trap. So now we need to integrate. We're going to test out some checkbox values or select field values. So let's go to. Just to catch you up, and again, you can see the past videos. We made a custom post type called Ghost Gear, and we made some custom fields, all using advanced custom fields. We're going to look at taxonomies too at some point, I believe. Okay, Ghost Gear data. This is our custom field set. And here you can see everything we have that I just went over. And then the names of each field, the value we use to, this would be like the meta key, I guess, technically in WordPress terms. The value we use to fetch, or rather the name, I guess, we use to fetch the data, the values as they're stored in the database. So let's add a new field. I'm not sure what we're going to call it, but let's browse. And we're going to look at the choice fields. Yeah. Button group. That's one that I haven't used a lot before. True, false, I have. So I guess let's just start. Well, we know some basic things here. We know, like, for example, a select field and a radio button set are typically used for single choices. So when you're presented with a number of options, but there is only one choice you can make. Select boxes can be set to choose multiple options, but I've always thought the interface was a little weird. So checkboxes are much more suited for that. So obviously a checkbox, you can select one or multiple options within a group of choices. A button group, I think you can do both. And true false is exactly what it is. It either returns true or false, or potentially 1 or 0. We can take a look at that. So let's just start with select. And okay, give me just a minute because I don't know what we're going to do. We need to think of something. Okay, I got nothing better. So we're going to do character most likely to use this item. GG. I like to come up with a shorter item use. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, now the choices. No, so here we go. So typically you can just say, Peter, Ray, Egon, Winston. I guess we could add Janine, and we'll just leave the main characters. And you can choose a default value. So here's where it gets actually powerful, quite powerful. So, and here's that select multiple. We'll try that out. So you can just enter the names just like that, or you can enter values and labels. And I like to do that just because it kind of expands your options. So like, let's say, I don't know all their last names, but it would look like this. What would be an advantage, or what would be, so it could be a class name. You could append it to something and use the value as a class name, and maybe each character has their own styling to be applied to the entry, or something like that. Maybe it references something that pulls in another value. I don't know. Well, then you would use a relationship most likely. Kind of sucking at this. I can't think of any, because these are just the same. So over here you have the value, and then here you have the label. And using this option, both. So the return format, do you want to return the value, the label, or both? And I like returning both because GenerateBlocks gives us a way to fetch either one, and we might want both. So let's see. Hang on just a second. Okay, so I got their last name. So what can we do with that? Do we need to do anything more with that? Or should we use like first name for the label and their full name for the value? But I like having the we'll do this. We'll do Peter -V, Ray S, Egon S, and Winston Z. Okay, just because I think what I'm going to do is use these values as like class names or something, or data attributes, or I don't know. We're not going to do anything crazy. I just want to show you how to use this stuff, and this may give you ideas of creative ways you can use it. I think some of the most creative things I've come up with are you can put SVG values, the SVG code as the value option. It's great for inserting like social media icons, things like that. And I did this in a previous video. I'll try to remember to put that in the description of this video. So we will not give it a default value, and we're not going to let it select multiple validation. We are going to allow null, meaning we're going to allow this to return nothing. Not required presentation, or I guess maybe that allow null really comes in play when you have it required, because otherwise it's just going to return empty anyway. Pretty sure. Stylized checkbox using select to. I think that's. We'll try that out. We're going to leave it just bare bones first. Okay, so let's save that. Character most likely. Okay, so now let's go back to our ghost gear and ghost trap. Who was most likely? Ray? Was he the one that always did these out? Oh, you know what? we needed a blank value. Or we needed that null. Okay, let's see what that does. Let's go back. I'm sorry. Let's go back to our field groups. Maybe it did need to be null. I don't know about y'all. Like, sometimes it's hard to keep all this stuff in my, I have to refer back to things. I can't keep it all straight all the time. Oh, that was the wrong button. Oh, no. Save. Okay, now go back to Ghost Gear. Ghost Trap. What do we get? Do we get like a... Yeah, okay, so now we get a select. Yeah. So I'm going to say Ray. Peter Egon Winston. Is Ray the only one? I guess. Did they ever call Peter Pete? I don't think so. Okay, so let's update Ghost Trap. Oh, and let's go update our short code. So go back to ACF because I can't remember the name of the freaking field. Character item use. Okay, yeah, you can click these just to copy it. So I've copied that. We're going to go to elements now. So elements is part of GeneratePress Pro. Is that right? Pro. Ghost Gear single template. It is a a block that is a content template. Okay, so let's put this here. So this short code is going to return kind of the raw data from our select dropdown. Okay, so let's refresh this, and that should be updated. And there you go. So we have this little array where the value is Ray S and the label is Raymond Stantz. So let's try outputting that in our template. So where do we want it? Maybe we put it above related Star Wars items. Okay, I like to have this. And again, this is a gripe that when you're creating the content template, you don't get a preview of any kind. You just get bits and pieces, which I don't mind this so much because I'm used to coding this stuff up in PHP. So I'm used to looking at that and then switching to the browser and refreshing. How does that look? Okay, let me change this. So go back to PHP, make a change, go back to the browser, refresh. How does this look? And that's what I end up doing here for the most part. So we got a spacer there. Okay, can I use my duplicate, Shift Control D? Okay, and then Control Alt Y is insert. Oh, that was insert. Okay. That was insert below. Control Alt Y is insert below. Control Alt T is insert above. I guess T for top is the way I remember it, and Y is not. So let's put in. This is great. Okay, so what are we going to need to output this? I think we're going to need a query block, but let's just see. Since it's a single value, let's see. It's not a loop item. We don't even get a loop item. Post meta. Can I still paste that in? Yeah. Enter. Okay, so let's just see from that. Let's edit that so I can do. You don't want a heading above it? Ugh, I don't know. Term most likely to use this item. And I think we can bold that. Yeah, we'll go simple for now. And we should get, yeah, nothing. That's kind of what oh, you know what? Let's go back to this and say not required to render, and let's see what it spits out. Nothing? Did I not do this right? Those are spacing attributes. That's that. That's that. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Okay, well, let's go ahead and try this. Oh, it didn't. Come on, man. There we go. Okay, now let's save. My bad. User error. Okay, so it still returns nothing because it's giving back an array and it doesn't know what to do with it. Or I say that, it's not going to do anything because it's an array. It doesn't know which value to output. So we're going to, right here, put a dot and enter label. And we are going to use that because it should give us something back now. Now it gives us Raymond Stance because we've used our beautiful little dot notation. And after the, what you want to call it. So post meta, and then the key, we've requested GG character item use, however you want to pronounce it, which is the name of the custom field that we set up. And our dot notation, we said, get the label from this. You're going to get an array, so give us the label. I think that's a key and then a value in array language speak. And arrays come in all programming languages. It's a common, I use them a lot in both JavaScript and PHP. Not in CSS or HTML, which I guess technically aren't really programming languages. But anyway, so that's that. And let's say for some reason we want to return, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to copy that. And we have that item, which is a paragraph. That's fine. Let's go down and let's say for some reason we want to add a data attribute. Or do we want to add a class? Maybe a class. And we'll call it character use dash dash. We're going to paste in this, and now we're going to use the value. Do that right? And yeah, it doesn't have to show. We don't have to do the required equals false or anything like that. Okay, so save. I think there you go. Okay, so GenerateBlocks gives it its default GB text class, but it's also inserted our class, including the dynamic array s, which is the value that's returned here. Okay, that's pretty cool, pretty swanky. Okay, so let's go now, and just for kicks, let's change it and watch it change, just to prove to you that it works. And then we'll go change the post type. Let's say that Egon is the one that now we got Egon, and the class name is changed to character use dash dash Egon S, and you can see the value changed here as well. So cool. That's, you can do stuff with that. Now let's try something. First of all, let's jump to the database and let's take a peek at what's happening beneath the hood. or let's pop the hood. Select data. It's probably at the very end. There it is. Character item use. Whoa! So it only stores the value. Okay, here's what I'm guessing. Here's what I'm guessing. And where do I find this? So it's referencing that field. Where does Advanced Custom Field store its own stuff? In options? I'm going to have to pause it and dig through this because I have a feeling I know how this works. What, all that transient stuff. Which I think this is stuff that gets used. I've never looked into exactly what transient stuff is. Settings. Okay, just a second. I'm going to pause it so I can look for this because I'm curious. Found it. Okay, so field data in Advanced Custom Fields, like the administrative stuff that you see when you're editing the fields in WordPress, are stored in the WP post table. And so here's that value. It's the title, or the post name rather. So that would be like the slug, I suppose. If we go back there, oh yeah, okay, so there's the post title. Character most likely to use this item. Here's the name of the field, the post excerpt. Wow, I didn't know it stored it this way. I did not know this. Okay. And then here is, we've seen this before, a serialized array of data. And if we, I've said this before, so I don't know the exact nature of why it stores things like this, but so there are 17 items in this array. The first one is this right here, I believe. So the S is for string. It's the type of value. It has 10 characters, and it is called aria label. Where we go? Instructions required, conditional logic, wrapper. This has all the information, and here's our values. Okay, so choices, and look, it's an array within an array. So choices, here we go. 4 items. The first one, string of 7 characters, Peter V. And then the next one, string of 13 characters, Peter Venkman. So there's all of our options. So what is happening is, can I open this in a new tab? We go back over here and go to the very end and go back to this. Okay, so we see that here's the value we saved on our post. So we went into Ghost Trap. We chose the character most likely to use this would be Egon. It saved this, which is the value of the choice we made, Egon S, to this custom field, which also references that underscore, tells it, okay, here's where you go get the rest of the information that's referenced here, and then go look in this field. Whoop. So that field name fetches this. And here's all of that data. So it will look in the correct array, that serialized array for Egon S. So where is Egon S? There's Egon S. So S, it's a string of 6 characters. The next item is the label associated with it. And so it will fetch both of those for us. Now, there's a lot of code stuff happening within Advanced Custom Fields that collects all of this and then returns it to us in a form that looks like this. So we can use PHP or handy plugin like GenerateBlocks to fetch it and do something with it. So now let's take a look. Good grief, these take so long. I'm so sorry. Now let's take a look. If we change this, I wonder if it's going to get rid of this. If we change the field type, or if we even can change the field type. So let's go here, go secure data. And I'm going to do this. Select multiple. No, not add field. I always think that's the save, because it should be except I know we need a way to add a new field. Yeah. I may have to go here in a second. I need more coffee. Ghost gear. Okay, so we changed that. Changed it. Does it already affect it? Oh, it did change it. Okay. So now we have a different type of array. It still has the value in it. Look at that. Okay. So you have to hold, yeah, the shift key to select, a range, or the control key. And that's why I'm not that crazy about it. But let's see, it would be, so now we get, what do you call this, a multi-dimensional array, or just arrays within arrays? So remember, arrays start counting at 0. So we have our first item, which is Raymond Stantz, and our second item, which is Egon Spengler. But we have to change how we fetch the data. And let's take a look at, okay, let's refresh this. Choices, so the choices stayed the same. Here we go, multiple, select multiple. So let's see how they're stored. And now we get a serialized array for this. Same value, so it's still just storing the value, and it has to reference the field itself over here to output the data to give us this stuff. So now what do we do? And just real quick, so you can make this prettier and I think more user-friendly by going, I'm going to open this in a new tab so we don't have to keep going back and forth. Ghost gear data. You can go under here, and if you want to use this kind of format, a select list, but keep it more user-friendly, where you don't have to hold down the shift key or the control key, you can go to stylized UI. Use Ajax to load choices. I don't think we need either of them. Oh, you can. I've never done that before. That's interesting. You can set it up to allow users to do something with it, to add new choices. We're not going to do that today. So now well, that's kind of handy, and you can change them around. So let's see, the values right now show that Ray is first and Egon. Okay, that's kind of handy. So you can set it, so now Egon's first and Raymond is second, to mimic what we just did. Okay, I got to remember that. That's cool. Okay, now let's deal with the layout. So let's go back to elements, and let's go back to our single template. Character most likely to use this item. Okay. Ooh. We could use our new conditionals, perhaps, in GenerateBlocks. I love them. They're free. Is that a GenerateBlocks thing, or is that a GeneratePress thing? That's GenerateBlocks thing, right? I honestly can't remember. Let's remove, or let's just do it like this. Boom, get rid of it. We're going to make that a, we're going to make this a heading 3. It really should be a heading 2, and I usually have my alternate classes. I don't think I do on this setup. So now, okay, now we need a query block. We're going to start blank. It is going to be a post meta query. Select post, current post. Yep. We really don't need pagination. -1 just means don't limit it. Show them all. Yeah, we get no. Stinking footnotes. Why does that always? What was it? GG character item use. GG character item use. I think that's it. So we'll rename this character item use. Okay. Looper, loop item. And we're just going to output the name. You know what? This really should be a list. Loop item. Loop item. Loop. So an unordered list. And loop item should be a list item. And this, we're going to make it a span. And let's go over here. And here's some times where I get, so I think it's supposed to be a loop item, but if we, yeah, I think that's right. Loop item ID, no. We want, yeah, because it's going to loop through that. We want the label. Meta key. See, I don't think there is. Am I messing this up? I don't think so. I don't think so, because it's just gonna, I think, you know what? I have no freaking idea. I'm drawing a blank. I think that's right, because we've already set up the name of the field we're fetching it from, and it should return an array. I was incorrect. I was incorrect. Loop item. Loop item. Okay, let's go back. Post meta. Is it post meta? Really? That just doesn't seem right. Oh, whoops. No. What? Okay, I did not expect that to happen. Change back to a span. I'm embarrassed. I may have to stop it and or pause it and go back and look. Item use. Or maybe, oh gosh, do I have that wrong? I don't think that's, yeah, that's not right. Okay, just a second. Okay, that was tricky. Not what I expected. And I've done this before, but I just did not remember. So what's happening is it does need a key, but it's technically not a meta key. So since we're getting an array back, so think of it this way: we're in a loop item, and this is a loop item right here. It is an array. Go away. So the actual keys are value and label, which I guess they're meta keys in a way, but they're keys for the array. Key. Oh my gosh. I know you're trying to be helpful, but it's not. I need to make that go away. Yeah, okay. Value, key, value, key, value. I need to highlight it. Key, value. Okay, so what we need to do is the key needs to be label. Insert dynamic tag and save. And now if we refresh and go back up here and look, we get the names. All right. Why don't we get the title? Well, I figured that out too. Or the heading, rather, for that thing. And remember, I had put in this class, and I did not put in the required to render is false. So what happens is, because that's in there and associated with that element, it's not getting the value because it changed. Now it's a multi-dimensional array instead of just a single array, and so it's not getting anything. So we can tweak this a little bit. So I think we can do this label, and this is a loop item. It is underscore, right? Yeah, key label. Okay, loop item, key label. Oh, wait, no, value. Key is value. Get rid of that dot. Okay, so I think it may just grab the first one. I mean, with a multi-dimensional array and multiple values, I don't know if we can technically use that anymore, or if it'd even be helpful. Yeah, it's still kind of cracking up. Okay, so what I can do is, I think, let's try this. Post meta. Okay, the key is still GG. Is this right? GG character item use. Give me the first item. I don't know if that syntax will work. Let's see. So it should just grab. Oh, you know what? Because it's not. Oh, yeah. So we're not using a loop. So we're just fetching that raw. You know what? No, that's not going to work either. So we may not be able to get that at all. I don't know if I should even keep trying. Hang on a second. Okay, I did get it to work. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool the way they let you use this stuff. So again, it was the dot notation. So just to let me pull this out. So this is the actual dynamic tag part, and it's a post meta with a key of GG character item use. So it's fetching that array, and then we're telling it, okay, now get the first item in that array and get the value from it, please. I could change that to a 1, and it would get the second one. So I don't know how handy that is, but it is pretty freaking neat that you can do that. Okay, back to the show because we're almost done here. I'm going to leave that as it is, and then we'll save. And let's try one more thing. I want to see if I can change it to checkboxes and it will retain the values, what we have. So I could try radio buttons too, which give you the single choice. But since we've already done the select drop down, it behaves the exact same way. So I'll leave it at that. And if any of you try it and find otherwise, leave me a comment. Please let me know and we'll correct that horrible mistake. But let's see. So there's the element. Now if I go back to ACF and we go back to our custom field set characters. Did I just duplicate it? No. Okay. So I want to see if I can change this to checkbox. Okay, so it's going to wipe out the whole thing. Change it back. Do they come back? Okay, then let's try this. So I think what happens is, I'm not entirely sure, it's going to delete all the values, or it's going to leave them and create a new set. I'm not entirely sure because we're not changing the name of the field. But I'm going to take these Does it leave the field name the same? It does. So our choices will stay the same. Please give us both. What kind of options do we get? Allow custom values to be added. That's pretty cool. Add toggle all layout. Yeah, we'll do that. Sure. Conditional. Nope. Access to value. Not required. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, save that. Okay, let's go back to Ghost Gear and Ghost Trap. Okay, did it keep our stuff? It did. Look at that. And we get a neat toggle all. Okay, so maybe, let me refresh that. It did. It changed it to checkbox. Okay, that's pretty sweet. Okay, but this way you do lose the option of like changing the order to what you want, but maybe you don't want to allow changing the sort order, so you'd want checkboxes. So okay, so let's let's save that, and it should be the same. This should continue working, and I think this will return the same thing. Yeah. Yep. Same thing. Okay. Very cool. Very, very cool. Alrighty. Do we still have the yep. So that still works for that. Nice. Do we have time for radio buttons? I think it's gonna be the same. You know what? I can't stand it. Okay, let's leave it on Ray. We're gonna do one choice. We're gonna update and back to ACF just real quick. We'll go through them all. Have we gone through them all? Are there any others that we have not hit? Oh, we didn't do button groups or okay. Okay, let me grab those one more time. I'm gonna copy them. Okay, radio button. Both. Allow null. Okay. I'm scared. I don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, well, that's weird. Okay, so we're back to just returning one item. Okay. And that still worked. Let's see what it returned, though. Huh. Character use. Okay, so because I told it first item in the array, there's only. Interesting. Okay. So we'd want to change that back to the first way we did it without the query loop. So let's to get the values to show up correctly. But let's look at quickly. Let's see what they look like. Okay, that's our layout. Let's look at Ghost Trap. Yeah, just a nice. You know what? Let's look. Okay, Control Alt T, insert, and let's insert a text item. And we're just going to have two here because I kind of want to compare. Open. So now we're post meta. And we have to tell it GG character item use label. Whoop. Ah. None. And that will get it to output. Yeah, so there's Raymond Stance. All right. So that is with, wait a minute. Oh. I changed it, but I didn't save it. I guess that's okay. That didn't really matter. So now let's change it real quick just to hit them all. Okay, let me grab these again because I'm not button group. Turn both. Oh, did we check the database? Yeah, that changed back to that. And this changed to radio. Yep. Okay, so allow null. Yes. Save. Refresh. And let's see what our interface looks like. I mean, so you can only select one. Okay, so now that first one, it should be returning just one value or one array item. Yep. So that's just like the radio button or the select drop down where you only select one. So it should give that same value. Yeah. So can you default value, validation, presentation? Okay, so button group, you cannot set it to allow multiples. Allow multiple selections. Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Okay. What was the other? True false. So that doesn't really apply here, but we can add it just to be for the completionist in us all, because I'm running long again. I feel like nobody really wants to watch an hour-long video. So the field label, you know what? We'll just is this a good piece of gear? Good gear. Wait, let's do it. Is good gear. Field label. Message displays alongside. Okay, so by default, it is a checkbox. Yeah, so I guess we need to see that first, because you can do stylize UI and do like yes or no. Whoop. We'll look at the checkbox first. So save. Oh, we need the message. Yes, it is. Whoop. Yes, it is. What does it want to correct it to? Oh, need a comma. Okay, so now if we go here, is this a good piece of gear? Yes, it is. Okay, let's save it. And let's see what it returns. GG is good gear. Because I can't, it may just be a 1 or 0. I can't remember. Aha. So let's jump back out here. Post all the way to. Is that it? Yeah, there it is right there. So let's. Okay, type true false. And yeah, that'll have some information about the stuff we just, our settings that we just created. And if I refresh this, is good gear. Yeah, so it just returns a 1 or 0. So what do you do with that? Well, that's a good question. Control Alt Y. And let's add another text field. Let's see what GenerateBlocks does with it. Post meta is good gear. Let's do not required to render, so it'll give us true or false. And give me another spacer. So Shift Control D. And can you move things? No, but I can do that. I know this looks like a mess. We're just goofing around. So what will generate? Okay, so it just gives us a 1 or 0. Okay. So guess what you could do with that is we could set up conditions. Ooh, maybe that's another video. We could set up conditions based on values that get returned, meta values. So you could do a true false, like show it or not show it, or include it or don't include it, or I don't know. Otherwise, I'm not entirely sure. Let's look at the last thing. Good piece of gear. Validation required. Stylized. Okay. Yes. Yes, it is. Absolutely not. Now let's see what it gives us. Let's get rid of that label. I mean, yeah, the message right there. Let's try that again. Wah! Okay, yeah, I've been fiddling with it. Okay, update. Yes, it is. Absolutely not. Okay, so then what is it? What does it give us? It should still be a 1 or 0. I don't think we switched to arrays or anything. Yeah. It should still be a 1. And if I check off of it and update, it should change to 0 or nothing or nothing. So what does it do in the database? It changes to 0, but it doesn't give us anything. Now I thought I told it. Where is it? I did. Well, that's weird. So return 0, it just gives you squat. It gives you not a thing. Yep, it's completely empty. Okay, so I don't know. We'd have to get creative with that. I don't know. Certainly for class names, data attributes, maybe GenerateBlocks conditionals. You know what? I'm going to stop here. We've dug in a lot. I think we've learned a lot about the select field options in advanced custom fields and how we can use them with GenerateBlocks. So hope you enjoyed that. Please like, subscribe, all that great stuff. You guys have a great Friday, great weekend, and I'll see y'all next week. Later.